All right, let's dive into a crucial part of building a successful career in construction, something that often gets overlooked: human connection. So, does this feel familiar to you? That gap, that all too common disconnect between the folks in the field and the team back in the office. When you're on site, you're in the zone, getting the work done, but man, it can feel like you're on an island. The real question is, how do you bridge that gap? How do you go from just finishing a project to actually building a career? Let's walk through the blueprint. First, let's be really clear about what we mean by connection. This is not about being the loudest person in the room or having some natural charisma. Nope. It's a skill you can learn and develop. Think of it like this: your reputation is built brick by brick through one good, high-quality interaction after another. It's a long-term investment that pays off over time. And just like any successful build, you can't just wing it. You need a plan. So we're going to lay out a simple but really powerful blueprint, a structured way to intentionally build the relationships that will define your career.
Our blueprint is built on 3 solid pillars. First, we're going to talk about building a consistent presence. Then we'll get into mastering strategic outreach. And finally, we'll cover how to cultivate purposeful mentorship. So let's get into that first pillar.
Okay, pillar 1, building a consistent presence. This is your foundation. This is all about making sure your name and your reputation are known well beyond the fence line of your current job site.
Think about it. As a project manager, it's easy to get siloed. Your main interaction with leadership might only be when something goes wrong. And trust me, that is the worst time to be building your reputation. The big takeaway here is you can't just wait for opportunities to find you. You've got to create them proactively. So how do you do that? You get involved. Raise your hand to join an internal committee, maybe the social or environmental one. Sign up for the company's volunteer day. These things are so powerful because they do 2 critical things at once. They show you share the company's values, and they put you in the room with leaders and peers in a positive, collaborative way. And that brings us right to pillar 2, mastering strategic outreach. Okay, so you've built some visibility. Now it's time to learn how to make direct and, more importantly, effective contact. You know, don't ever underestimate the power of a single well-written message. An email, a LinkedIn note. It can be an incredible tool for an introduction, but, and this is a big but, there is a right way and a very wrong way to go about it. Take a look at this template here. Why does this work? Well, it's brief, it's respectful, and it totally flips the usual script. Instead of asking for something, it focuses on offering value. It shows you did your homework and you're thinking about how you can help them. That value-first approach, that's what gets a reply. Now, what about those crowded industry mixers or company parties? Let's be real, it is almost impossible to have a deep conversation there. The key is to be strategic. Don't try to solve everything in one go. Your only goal should be to make one quick, lasting impression and then lock in a follow-up conversation for later. Plant the seed, then find a better time and place for it to grow. This brings us to our final and maybe our most important pillar, purposeful mentorship. And here's the big secret. True mentorship isn't something you just walk up and ask for. It's what grows organically out of all those genuine connections you've already been building. The process is actually pretty simple. You start with a real professional connection and you just nurture it. And when you're thinking about who could be a good mentor, focus on a personality match, not just their job title. The best mentorships are a two-way street where you're both learning and adding value. And if things do get more formal, just be crystal clear about expectations right from the start. It's crucial for success. So what's the payoff for all this work? Well, this right here is the transformation. You go from being fragmented, stuck on your job site with limited visibility, always just reacting to problems, to being integrated. That means you're known across different departments, you're seen as a proactive contributor, and ultimately you're viewed as a potential leader in the company. And you know, this isn't just about you and your career. When we start applying this blueprint across the whole company, we make the entire industry stronger. Better connections lead to a better company culture, better efficiency, and, this is a big one, higher retention. Because people feel valued, and they feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. So putting this blueprint into practice helps you build that solid foundation, but that really brings up the next big question, doesn't it? Once you've made these key connections, how do you nurture them for long-term growth? That is exactly what we're going to dive into in our next chapter on the art of mentorship.